Why do people separate Catholic and Christian? Isn't Catholicism a branch of Christianity? You mostly hear this distinctions from Protestants. To Catholics, they are Christianity. They have papal succession going back to St. Peter, who was tasked with building the church by Jesus. The word Catholic comes from the Greek adjective katholikos, which is a combination of the words kata concerning and holos whole. It means universal or general. Yes, it is. Since Catholics are the largest Christian group and the most cohesive, sometimes they are separated. Because, particularly in the USA, there are Protestant Christians who actually think that the Catholic Church is taken over by Satan, and that Catholics are at best misguided people, and at worst also evil themselves. This isn't a joke, particularly in the American South. Being a Catholic is something that will get you side-eyed or judged or even discriminated against. I know someone who in grade school had a classmate stop talking to her because she was Catholic, so those people feel the need to distance themselves and treat Catholics and Christians as different things. My extremely religious mother Protestant had no idea who Martin Luther was. Every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. Catholicism has many teachings, rules, and rituals that do not apply to other branches of Christianity. Christianity itself is not a specific religion, it's a category of them. Another example would be think of Catholicism as like Coke, Lutheranism is like Pepsi, and Christianity is like the word soda. Oh, somebody call in Martin Luther to nail a proclamation to this post. Basically, only some Protestants say this. They define Christianity in a specific way and Catholics don't qualify. I can get into specifics, but a lot of it has to do with saints and the veneration of Mary, plus the idea that salvation can be based on good works. Most people who are not part of those specific Protestant denominations see Catholicism as a subset of Christianity. Christians is also often used on its own to describe Protestants, specifically, but that's more like how Congress refers both to the House of Representatives on its own and the legislature in whole. The answer is pretty simple: all Catholics are Christian, but not all Christians are Catholics. Some people like to make a purely semantic argument that Catholics aren't Christians because non-denominational Protestants call themselves Christian. Yes, it is as dumb as it sounds. In the US, the only people who call themselves just Christian are non-denominational church Christians, Christian Church and Church of Christ, for example. Everyone else call themselves by their denomination. Example: Catholics call themselves Catholic. Baptists call themselves Baptist, Methodists, Methodist, Lutherans, Lutheran, and so on. With that said, we all consider ourselves and we all are Christian, but people are usually more specific, so people know what kind of Christian we are and what church we go to. There are some Christians that consider only themselves real Christian. They usually don't like Catholics or any other Christians that don't go to their church or denomination. But the vast majority of Christians in the US see other Christians, including Catholics, as fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. Yes, Catholics are a branch of Christianity, this is undisputed. However, through bigotry or ignorance, many other Christian denominations don't recognize this fact. It's like squares and rectangles. Every Catholic is Christian, but not every Christian is Catholic. Who are you hearing that from? Catholicism is the first big form of Christianity that made Christianity into a world religion, yeah. Protestants didn't exist until like 1,000 years later. Generally, Christianity is divided into Catholics, Protestants, and some other small splinter sects that don't really fit in either of those big buckets. Sure, but they have different beliefs. All Christians have a basic belief that Christ is at the center of their religion. How Christ fits there, what he represents, whether he is one entity with God or a separate entity, whether sacraments like communion are literal transubstantiation or ceremonial and other things separate different groups within Christianity. Catholics, specifically Roman Catholics, are one of the largest and oldest groups in Christianity. Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Amish people also identify as Christians. They have some very different religious ideas and teachings from other groups. It's a Protestant thing. Catholic and Orthodox are the original branches of Christianity. It's a branch of Christianity, yes. There is a lot of ritual. It can be more conservative and traditional than other branches. I taught middle school for a bit in South Central PA, and the youths didn't realize or accept that Catholics were Christians. They saw Catholics as an other. The Pope is what separates Catholics from all other Christianity. Catholicism is Christianity. They invented it. Nearly everyone who considers themselves Christian and is not either Catholic or Eastern Orthodox is a spin-off of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. Yes, there are some surviving exceptions in small populations in the Old World, but they are the exception, not the rule. It's basically Amazing Spider-Man fans versus Ultimate Spider-Man fans, with each side thinking they are the only ones who are canon.